The phone rang at 19:46. I remember the time because I'm trained to remember everything: sound, tone, breath, echo. But this was different. This wasn't a hostage negotiation, or a barricaded gunman, or a panicked civilian whispering from a closet. It was my daughter. "Daddy, can you hear me?" Then scuffling, something falling, a gasp. I straightened instinctively. My pulse didn't jump. Training doesn't allow that. But something in my chest tightened in a way no tactical vest ever had. "Sweetheart?" I said. Her voice cracked. "Stop! You're hurting Mommy!" A man's roar filled the speaker. "Shut up, or you're next!" My ex-wife's cry followed, thin, breathless. "Please, not in front of the kids!" For 1 second, one precise surgical second, my world narrowed to a point. Not rage, not panic, just clarity. Cold and total. I switched to command mode without even realizing. "Dispatch, code 7, I said. "Send my team to her address. Full breach." My daughter screamed again, and something inside me, something old, something I thought I'd buried after the divorce, came alive. 8 minutes later, I was at the house with breaching equipment in hand. My team stacked behind me, silent, focused. We kicked the door, and when we entered the living room, guns sweeping, he was standing there, still, calm, almost waiting. And the sight of him didn't shock me. It confirmed something I'd refused to look at for months, something I'd tried to bury, something I already knew. His face was the first betrayal I'd ever memorized. The man my ex-wife said was just a coworker, the man who helped her move boxes, the man she barely talked to anymore. Yet he stood in her living room like he owned the air. Hands raised, eyes steady. No panic, no guilt, not yet. My team cuffed him, dragged him to the wall. My ex-wife rushed to my daughter, holding her, whispering reassurances she never gave me. I scanned the room. Broken lamp, scattered toys, a bruise rising across her cheek. But something was wrong. Not with the scene, with her. The way she avoided looking at him, the way he looked at her, the way they both looked at me. A triangle, tight, silent, loaded. "Who called me?" I asked quietly. My daughter pointed. "Mommy told me to." My ex-wife flinched. Very small, very telling. The man didn't say a word, didn't need to. His eyes already had too much history in them. History with her, history behind my back, history my daughter shouldn't have been anywhere near. When the medics arrived and the house cleared, I stood alone in the doorway, the weight of something poisonous settling inside me. I wasn't shocked, not really, but denial can feel like truth when you desperately want it to, and I had wanted it to, for far too long. I didn't confront her that night, or the next. I returned the kids to her after the custody exchange, said nothing, watched the way she lingered at the door, guilt radiating off her like sweat. I didn't ask about the man, didn't ask how he had a key, didn't ask why he showed no fear when we breached. Silence is a scalpel. People cut themselves with it. Instead, I watched. Phone records, location logs, bank statements, emails pulled from a forgotten backup account. Piece by piece, the quiet truth assembled itself like a crime scene map. The affair had started months before the divorce was final. The late shifts, the school meetings, the girls' nights, all of it. My inner voice stayed calm, clinical, even as my stomach knotted. She didn't leave you because she fell out of love. She left because she had already replaced you. That wasn't what hurt. What hurt was realizing she brought him around the kids. Let him read bedtime stories. Let him sit at the dinner table I built. Let him become a shadow where I used to stand. And the man, calm during a SWAT breach, wasn't afraid because he thought he belonged. He thought he was supposed to be there. I gathered evidence quietly, methodically, not as a commander, as a husband who'd been made into a stranger. The day the DNA envelope arrived, my youngest's paternity test, I didn't open it immediately. I let it sit. A bomb with my name on it. I opened the envelope at 02:13. No hesitation, no deep breath, just truth. Plain, clinical, undeniable. I held the paper for a long time. Not shaking, not breathing, just adjusting. The next afternoon, I stood at her door. She answered in a sweatshirt, hair tied back, bruised cheek fading. A survivor's mask. I handed her the paper. She skimmed, stopped breathing, looked up at me with eyes that finally held fear. "I can explain," she whispered. "I know," I said. Her knees weakened. She leaned on the doorframe. Tears gathered, but I felt nothing. Not even satisfaction. Just the final click of a lock. "Please," she whispered, don't take my children from me." My children. Interesting choice of words. I didn't say a word. Silence again. She broke under it. The next day, I invited her and the man to a co-parenting meeting at a neutral location. She showed up first, red-eyed, trembling. He arrived second, confused, defensive. I placed the evidence folder on the table. Photos, records, messages, the DNA report. Neither dared touch it. "You had months to tell me," I said. "You didn't." She reached for my hand. I moved it away before she touched me. He tried to speak. I raised one finger. He went silent instantly. "I'm not here to yell," I said. "I'm here to clarify roles." I slid a single sheet across the table. A custody modification petition. Her breath shattered. You're taking them?" she whispered. "No," I said. "I'm giving you what you gave me." Confusion. Then realization. Cold. Total. I wasn't taking the kids. I was taking the narrative. The power. The version of me she built to justify what she did. "I already filed everything," I said. "The truth is in the system now. You don't get to rewrite it." The man looked at her like she'd handed him a grenade. She looked at him like he'd stopped being worth losing a family over. Perfect symmetry. I left them sitting there, quiet, broken, exposed. The world outside felt strangely still, like the storm had passed without touching me. In a way, it had. People think closure comes with forgiveness. They're wrong. Closure comes when the truth is heavy enough to crush what's left of the lie. I didn't win anything. I simply stopped losing. When I got into my truck, I looked at my reflection in the mirror. Calm, steady, cold. Not the man she betrayed. Not anymore. I drove away without looking back. Some truths don't need witnesses. Some endings don't need sound. And some people never realize what they've lost until the moment you stop bleeding for them and start walking away. Quiet, certain, untouchable.